is that it's a typical negotiation that unfortunately has gone past the time of when you'd like to have something done, meaning having him here for training camp. There's nothing really much to go into. It's very simple. It's just a difference of dollars. We've talked shorter-term contracts and we've talked longer-term contracts, and just unfortunately at this time we have not agreed that what they think and what we think is fair compensation. Both totally realize that the sooner that we get it done, it's better for us and it's better for Ryan.
You have Taylor Beck on the ice participating in camp. It's the same status as Ryan Ellis. How are contract talks going with him?
Basically, we're just going to wait and see after a few preseason games to where how Taylor plays, how he fits in. I mean, this is really a crucial year for him. I mean, it should be his time. I mean, he's been up and down probably as much as any player in our organization. Our conversations have been, I think, very to the point on both sides. Is that he feels that he should be an NHL player, and he feels that he probably hasn't been given enough of an opportunity. I don't totally disagree with that, but we are where we are, and that's today at this training camp. And what Ryan, what Taylor does in training camp and in these games is going to determine his fate. And again, we're all cheering for him. I mean, he's a draft choice of ours. I mean, he's a big kid. He's got a lot of skill, and there's no doubt in my mind that he can play in the National Hockey League. Hopefully, be on a regular basis this year.
When you go through things like these contract situations, especially with Ryan Ellis not here at camp, if you see things like with Ryan Johansson with Columbus, you hope it doesn't reach a point where the conversations really deteriorate and it gets into the public spotlight like it is there.
Well, you control that to a certain extent. I mean, I've had the job a long time, and I've had some situations that have not been really pretty. I could actually say they've been sort of like the Ryan Johansson situation. I would prefer not to do that. And like I'm saying right now, I mean, Ritz is very clear. You've asked me the question. Ryan Ellis wants a certain amount of money, and we would like to give him a different amount. And it's nothing to do that we want him. We're not trading him. We really like him. We really like the way he played last year. It's just a disagreement on dollars. With Taylor, the contract is an issue, but it's really of whether he's going to play here or not. And again, in a couple of weeks, I think we'll both know the answer to that. So the agents can say whatever they want, but I think the agents in this case pretty much feel the same way we do. And so I guess that could happen in these situations, but I don't think it will.
David, as you're waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning, what is waking you up at that point?
I'm actually sleeping good at 2 o'clock in the morning right now. I'm sleeping good. I feel really good. As we all know, and it's been said, there's been a lot of changes made both on and off the ice. Again, I said to myself as the manager and the planner, hopefully having this division for this franchise, that I don't like making changes for just making changes. I don't like making changes just to be different. I like to make changes to be better. And hopefully the changes that we've made both on and off the ice will play out to make us better.
A lot of attention, obviously, to the offensive changes being made. But this is a team that scored more goals than the Stanley Cup champion in the regular season last year. This is a team that scored the same amount of goals as the New York Rangers did. What changes do you feel like we've made defensively that's going to improve in that area? Obviously, Pecorine being one of them.
Well, let's go to before. I mean, a little bit of fool's gold at the end of the season. 9-1-1, 14 goals in the last 2 games. I'm sure that blew us by about three teams the last 2 games. I mean, I think we know where our strengths are. I think we know what our weaknesses are. And now to answer your question, with Pekka in goal and the way he feels and the way he's, I guess you say his confidence is swagger here. I mean, being around here for a few years, that takes everybody up to a new level. And Pekka's in goal. I mean, it's the cliche of all cliches. He gives us a chance to win every game. But it's true, and we play differently. So right off the bat, we're better than we were last year. Last year, we not only had Pekka's injury, but we had Carter Hutton, who played a total of one game in the National Hockey League. He's played a full season, won 20 games. He certainly has the confidence of the players. With our defense, I mean, Shea, Roman, I mean, one of the best defense players in the National Hockey League. Seth Jones, I see a continuing big upside for him, and probably a little bit more consistency in his game. He worked real hard all summer. For any of you that got to know Seth, and then talk about somebody at his age that is focused and has got his priorities in place, I would bet a lot on Seth being really big. And at home, to me, each year, just in talking to him, not even on the ice, I mean, you know, a little bit bigger, stronger, more confident, or whatever. He played a lot better at the end of the season. Victor Bartley, Volchenkov will be a real good ad because he just is a good piece for what we really don't have. We got 5 defensemen that can go all the time with the puck and create some offense. Volchenkov's there for a specific reason. And of course, Ryan Ellis, when he gets in here, will have a really good role. And
so what?
Sorry, and probably to finish up, the forwards have been our attention probably in the last couple of years. And if you followed, again, if you just look at all the moves that we've probably made, mostly in the draft, secondarily in free agency, we really prioritized our forwards. And I think the end result of that is you're going to see 6 or 7 new forwards in our lineup this year to try to address that situation to make us better.
So, for the first day or two, who's caught your eye? What have you seen?
I personally don't like to make too many declarations after a couple of days of just practice, if you will. I mean, to me, I'm looking for more red flags, and guys that would say would disappoint me, whether it be a conditioning situation or not responding to the drills or the coaches or what have you. And I really don't see the negatives. I think the fact that we've changed coaches and there's certainly a different level of excitement. I think it's fair to say that this year, because of the new coaching staff, I think we're tracking well. I mean, tomorrow will be a more interesting game from my evaluation, because those are all the players that can play in that game will be guys that have an opportunity to be either your depth players, call up players, or what have you. And I believe, I don't know if he shared that with you, but he's going to work on some special teams. So those are the guys that aren't going to play tomorrow. So we're going to see all the guys that we need to see. We have all of our scouts here, and so if you're saying that Taylor Beck is on the bubble, he'll be in that game. If you think that it's I don't know if it's Fiala or it's Colton Sisters, they'll be in that game. So that'll be important to how they do in order to get coaches' eye in terms of getting some preseason games.
All right.
Thanks.
Sir.
Okay.